Okay, today we're going to do a design project where there's overlapping and things happen with color. So we're going to choose a spoon, find one that it's easy to clean, or you want to just toss it if you get marker on it. These can wash off well. So actually I'm just going to use a very regular spoon. Okay, so what I want to do is first put it on the paper, hold a pen or Sharpie or other marker, something that's dark, and trace your first spoon. So you don't have to draw anything. It's easy. Just tracing. Okay? That's my first. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it somehow to overlap. I'm going to do this across my whole paper. I'm going to even, oops, let it go off the edge of the paper, and I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, so now maybe I'll do one off the top, going off the top of the paper. See that? How it goes off the paper? It makes your eye want to come back onto the paper. Little trick artists do to keep your attention. That goes off. Oops, I made a bump there. It's okay. Now I'm going to overlap, and I'll let this one overlap here as well. You don't want to make too many, but you want to cover the whole paper. You want to make it interesting. Okay. Those are shapes. If you have a little gap, just make the outline thicker. But nobody knows that you made a mistake but you. There you go. That looks better. It's better when you make your lines bolder. Alright, I'm going to use go off the edge here. I'm going to do this in fast motion so you can watch it happen and not wait a long time for me to finish. Okay, now that you've filled all of the space going off all of the edges, you can get some markers or crayons. It's easier with markers because crayons kind of, I don't know, they're hard to control. With the Sharpies or regular markers, you can just use the tip of the marker, called the nib, or you can hold it on an angle to make wider coverage. Alright. So I'm using a marker, and each space that I created is going to be a color. So this is going to be a color, this is going to be a different color because I've made a new shape. Okay, so overlapping two shapes makes another shape, and that's the whole target for this project, to find the new shapes and make them a different color. So in this space, this new shape, it's like a semicircle, I always trace the shape first, and then I fill it in. My little guys, I tell them, draw the fence first and fill in the yard. Alright, I think I'm going to use some other markers as well. Let's try some blue, light blue. So the nibs on these markers has a nice point for thin lines, and then it's a wide nib for wider shapes. So, like here. Get this out of the way. So I trace them inside with the side of the nib. If you have markers like this, it'll be easy for you because you'll get to practice what I'm doing. And don't be afraid to turn your paper. It's not stapled to the table. So you trace the fence, and then you can fill in your yard. Use the side of the marker. Your markers will last longer. And if one side gets dry, turn it over. Finish your lines. Okay? It's like mowing the lawn. Alright. Now the next shape, pick a different color. Something very different. How about green? Okay. Don't lose your caps. Trace your yard, your fence first. If you have a thick nib, use the side of it. It goes faster. Okay, so you trace your fence first. Don't go through it. It's a different shape, so it's a different color. Stop here. Fill in your fence. Use the side of your marker. And there you have it. Now you have a new shape, so it's a new color. I'm going to make that a different color. I don't want it to be green again. I want to use a different color. So many artists use nice, big, bold colors. Bright, bold colors. Alright, I'm going to finish this on time-lapse so you can watch me do it in action. If you would like to use another object, make sure it's a simple shape when you trace it. You'll still need to overlap so you have new shapes, and make sure you go off of the edge of the paper, filling the whole paper.